My backyard was never meant to turn into a crime scene. Yet there I stood, clutching an iced coffee, staring at a neon green charging cable snaking across my grass like some alien VYNE. It was plugged into my outdoor outlet, siphoning my electricity into a sleek electric car that didn't belong to me. I blinked, then spotted her Lisa, lounging next to her shiny ride like she owned the whole block, giving me a little wave with the smugness of someone who thinks the world runs on her charm. That's when I realized this wasn't a quirky mix-up. This was war. It all started with flickering lights. I'd be reading or binging a show and the power would dip just for a split second. At first I figured my solar panels were to blame. Maybe the inverter was glitchy, or the clouds were thicker than usual. But then it got predictable. Every afternoon around 2 p.m., something guzzled a huge chunk of my juice. Not a blender or a hairdryer, this was more like a hot tub, and a microwave making an energy-hungry baby. I checked my smart meter, and the numbers didn't lie. I was losing over 8 kilowatts during peak sun, enough to light up half the neighborhood. My mind raced. Bad wiring? A neighbor's renovation gone wrong? A crypto miner hiding in my basement? The mystery chewed at me until I pulled up my security cam feed, hoping for a fried squirrel or something simple. Instead, I got Lisa. There she was in her matching workout gear, oversized shades, yoga mat tucked under her arm, and a giant water bottle in hand, strolling into my yard like it was a public park. She flashed a grin at my camera like she was auditioning for a toothpaste ad, plugged her fancy electric SUV into my outlet, then plopped down on my lawn, stretching like it was her private retreat. Her car slurped my solar power like it was a smoothie, while she scrolled her phone, oblivious to the absurdity. I felt a weird mix of fury and disbelief bubble up. Was this actually happening? Was she really charging her car on my dime and treating my property like a day spa? I stormed out, coffee still in hand like a sarcastic shield, and asked the most obvious question I could manage. Lisa, why are you plugged into my house? She beamed at me like I'd just praised her outfit. Oh hey. I didn't think you'd mind. It's just a quick charge. You've got solar, right? It's free energy. I almost spat out my drink. Free for me, Lisa, not for anyone with a cord and zero shame. She laughed like I'd cracked a punchline. Oh come on, you weren't using it. This wasn't Lisa's first dip into my business. She'd once complained my solar panels were too shiny and might blind migrating birds. She'd reported my neatly trimmed bushes to the HOA for being too sharp. She even asked if I could share some of that solar Wi-Fi because her signal dropped in her leave-wying room. But this was next level. This was power theft with a side of entitlement. I laid it out plain: you don't plug into people's homes without asking. It's illegal, it's risky, and it's absurdly rude. She crossed her arms, giving me that half-lidded, nostril-flaring stare like a low-budget MUI lane. I'm helping the planet, she said. You should thank me. Normally I'd have called the cops or ripped the cord out. But something shifted. Not the explosive kind of shift that ends in shouting matches, but the quiet, scheming kind. If she thought she could leech off me without a fight, maybe I'd give her what she wanted with a twist. First, I needed EVY Denke, a full Lisa takedown tape. So I left her there, stretching in my shade, draining my power, and called my Cocina robotics teacher with a garage full of gadgets. By nightfall, we had a plan. I rewired the smart plug on my outlet, linking it to a power converter tied to my cousin's treadmill. The treadmill would kick on only when something like, say, an electric car pulled a big load. If Lisa wanted free juice, she'd have to work for it. The next day I didn't catch her arrival, but I heard the treadmill were to life in the garage. I checked the feed app. Lisa was back, car plugged in, treadmill churning. I sipped my coffee and grinned. Now I'd wait. The following morning I was ready, not just with coffee, but with a front row seat to what I dubbed the Lisa Energy Showdown. My phone pinged. Outdoor outlet active. Then a louder buzz. Treadmill on. Game time. I stepped outside as she sauntered up, bold as ever, not even glancing at the camera. She flipped open the outlet cover, unrolled her garish green cord, and hooked up her car like it was routine. She even hummed a little song. The nerve had a soundtrack. I let it run a bit, long enough for the treadmill to hit top speed. The motor growled from the garage. Perfect. Time to mess with her day. I strolled out, feigning confusion. Lisa, you're plugged in again? She looked up from her yoga mat. Morning. Yeah, you said it was cool yesterday. I hadn't, not really, just nodded vaguely, the way you do when you're baiting a trap. You sure it's working, right? I asked, fake worry in my voice. No odd alerts on your dash? She rolled her eyes. It's a top-tier EV. If something's off, it'd scream at me in 10 languages. I smiled. Just checking. Some folks mention weird power blips around here. She shrugged and leaned back, unbothered. I slipped inside, where my cousin was already recording. The treadmill had been spinning for 12 minutes, looking like it was training a ghost marathoner. Lisa's car, per her open phone app, was baffled, charge speed spiking, dipping, spiking again. Her battery was filling, but something was off. 10 minutes later, I heard her mutter, huh, followed by footsteps. She stormed to my back door, left ajar on purpose, and yelled, "Hey, your outlet's messed up." "It's surging." I faked concern. "Surging? You okay?" "Car okay." She huffed. "It's not charging right. Your solar's probably faulty. You need a pro." I nodded slowly. "Weird. My lights, fridge, everything's fine. Want me to unplug it?" She waved me off. "No, I need the charge. Just tell me if it gets worse." And back she went to her pilfered paradise, clueless that the treadmill was eating her voltage like a starved beast. I let it simmer, her car half-charging while the treadmill roared. Then I flipped the breaker on the setup, dropping the power cold. That got her. She was back in seconds, pounding the door. "Your system crashed." "My car's dead." I shrugged. "Guess the inverter overheated. Happens with big loads." She glared. "It's just a car. It's just my outlet," I shot back. She faltered, mouth opening then shutting. A flicker guilt? Irritation crossed her face, but she rallied. "You're being petty. Solar's renewable. You're not losing anything." "I'm losing power I paid for, privacy, and patience," I said. She tilted her head. "So it's about you now? I thought you cared about the neighborhood." There it was, the guilt trip, the twist to make me the jerk for not fueling her lifestyle. "I do care," I said. "That's why I don't rob my neighbors." She threw up her hands. "Fine, I'll take it to the HOA. This is probably against some rule-hogging energy or whatever." I nearly laughed. "No rule says I bankroll your commute." She snapped, "You're ridiculous," and stomped off, leaving her cord plugged in. I waited 10 minutes, then flipped the treadmill back on. Her car's dash lit up like a holiday display, software likely freaking out over the odd resistance. The treadmill groaned, belt squealing under the strain. Later, she returned, less cocky, hair mussed like she'd been arguing with tech support. She unplugged silently, coiled her cord, and muttered something as she left. It was the walk of someone losing ground. That night, I dropped a screenshot of my smart plug data power draw, timestamps, no names, into the neighborhood chat. People speculated. By morning, someone posted a meme, her face on a hamster powering a Tesla. I didn't make it, but I kept it. This wasn't done. Lisa was petty, but I had time. And the game was just heating up. She plugged in again that afternoon, same strut, same smirk, same refusal to see she was stealing. But her comm cracked. Her car flashed warnings, battery issues, unstable power, grounding errors. She probably blamed her charger, not the treadmill sprinting like a maniac in my garage. I watched from inside, sipping tea now, calm as a spectator at a show I'd rigged. She poked the outlet like tapping it would fix her woes. It didn't. 2 hours later, she returned with a fancy new charger, plugging in without a glance my way. 3 minutes in, the treadmill roared, now with a resistance led me cousin's Lisa special. Every power spike up the drag by 10 fan trim. Her car was in a VY Retool uphill race. 10 minutes later, it quit charging. She banged on my door, fuming. "Your setup's broken. My car's freaking out." I played dumb. "Have you tried unplugging it?" She glared. "It's your outlet. It's unstable. You could ruin stuff." "Could," I said, "but I don't, because I don't let randos plug in." She froze. "You said it was fine." I said, "Go ahead," I smiled. "That's not permission, that's me testing your ethics." Her face went red. "You think this is funny?" "I think it's a lesson," I said. Electricity's not free for all. Maybe when someone says don't, they mean it. She stormed off, leaving her cord. The treadmill ran until her battery tanked, then the limiter tripped, shutting it all down. Her car beeped its last. That night, a neighbor texted, "Did you really rig a treadmill to stop Lisa?" I didn't reply, but the next day, The chat exploded with Memsure Tesla on a treadmill, captioned, Lisa's Eco Workout. Rumors flew. 3 neighbors said she tried their outlets too. One found a snarky note when his wouldn't work. The HOA thread buzzed about property rights. Doorbell footage surfaced. Lisa claiming emergency charging and saying, I shouldn't have to ask. We're a community. Another clip showed her yelling at her car as the cord tangled, ranting about energy elitists. She went quiet after that, her walks short, her lawn empty. But I knew she'd try again. And I was ready with an HOA projector and popcorn on deck. The HOA meeting hit at 6 p.m. By 5:45, the lot was packed: lawn chairs, water bottles, and that suburban buzz of impending chaos. Lisa stood up front, arms crossed, tracksuit pristine, radiating tension. She didn't look at me, but she felt me there. The board tried a normal start, but the air crackled. Then Lisa stood, throat cleared, and pitched her neighborhood initiative: clean energy, unity, emergency charging only. She teared up, dabbing with her sleeve. The room wavered. I raised my hand, stood, and said I had a video for context. Before anyone stopped me, I fired up my projector. Lisa's face hit the wall, plugging in, while VYing, lounging. Clips rolled, her at my door, her car beeping, the treadmill whirring. Laughter erupted. The ring footage sealed ether, raging at her Tesla, cursing solar hoarders. The room lost it. Even the stoic HOA press smirked. Lisa jumped up, red-faced. This is harassment. He sabotaged my car. I stepped to the mic. Never touched it. Just rerouted my power through my treadmill. You plugged in Union VY TED. The press cut in. Homeowners don't have to share power. Unauthorized use is trespassing and theft. Lisa sputtered, so we hoard energy now? A neighbor shouted, we don't steal and call it active VYSM. Another, or turn lawns into gyms. She tried a last jab, claiming I misused resources. I flashed a police report, no charges, just proof of her theft, backed by logs in VYDAO. The board huddled, then ruled, Lisa off the committee, a warning on her record, and a new bylaw banning off-property charging. She grabbed her purse and bolted. No slow clap, but a muttered boom, and some fist bumps followed. Neighbors thanked me after. Some asked if the treadmill was still hooked up. Nah, I said, but I'm eyeing a rowing machine. Someone suggested a charging station sign with her car and the treadmill. I'd frame it. That night, a meme hit the chat. Lisa's face on a hamster, lightning bolts flying, captioned, power to the people, not Lisa. I grinned. She'd gone quiet, but I braced for her next move. A week later, peace settled, smiles, porch chats, happy dogs. Lisa's SUV sat still, her walks rare and head down. Then came the letter. Certified, legal gibberish suing me for sabotage, distress, and electrical manipulation. I laughed, called my lawyer buddy, and countered. Trespassing, theft, violations. With my Eva Denke, I wasn't sweating it, just annoyed at the hassle. Court was basic, no drama set. Lisa brought a stack of papers and a last-minute lawyer. I brought my flash drive. Her side spun tales of ruined unity and weaponized treadmills. I played the hits, her plugging in, ranting, the treadmill churning. The judge barely flinched, smirked once, then asked if she'd used my outlet without permission. Yes, but he had extra, she said. Case dismissed in 10 minutes. My counterclaim: one she owed me for power and fees. Not much cash, but her power thief label stuck in records. Sweet justice. We threw a Lisa-free energy fest, potluck, solar lights, treadmill races for kids. A sign read, charge responsibly, with stick figures and a treadmill. Her house went dark, then a for sale sign popped up. She was gone, off to some aligned place. I added a gnome to my law charger in one hand, dumbbell in the other. Plug in if you dare. When I hear a treadmill now, I smile. Some run for fitness. I ran to keep the block petty.